Come on in, come on in. It's the Sunday reset where we are going to plan our week on LinkedIn because a lot of you, I know from conversations, I know from how you show up on LinkedIn, are kind of groping in the dark, right? So we start, we stop, we guess, we figure it out. And what that ultimately leads to is poor results. If I can keep it real, right? So I've put these on. I was doing them inside of the LinkedIn Strategy Lab, but I figured I would open them up and allow those that have not joined the lab yet, I say yet, to also partake in pulling together a plan, right? Because you know what they say, if you don't have a plan, more than likely you are planning to fail. So if you're on, let me know. Let me know that my stream is working. Let me know that you can hear me. Drop in to the comments. Let me know that you're on. Let me know where you're joining from. Let me know where you are joining from. Just as a quick test to make sure you can hear me and the tech is behaving. I hope you've had a good weekend. I have been so chilled today. Oh my goodness. Hence the head wrap. I forgot. I was like deep conditioning my hair. And then I looked up and was like, oh, conditioner still in hair. Live stream scheduled. Like, I know we keep it real, but could I turn up with conditioner in my hair? Would that be cool? Or would that be all the way wild? Hey, Andrea, good to see you. I hope you're doing well, lovely. I hope you're doing well. Simone, how are you? How are you? Good to see you. Yeah, let me know where you're logging in from. If you are in the UK, whereabouts. You don't have to give me your address or your postcode, but let me know. Are you in the UK? Are you outside of the UK? I'm streaming across Facebook, LinkedIn, and where else? YouTube, right? So we'll be live across all those platforms. So this session is literally a quick sprint session to help you to plan your activity, your intention on LinkedIn this week. As I've said, a lot of you go on, and because you don't have a plan, right, you're spending time doing things that are not moving your business forward. And LinkedIn is a tool for business. That's the point of it. It's a business tool. So we use it to get visibility, to get opportunities, to get leads and clients. Simone, you are in the US. Amazing. Amazing. I hope you're having a good time. Have you moved there permanently now, or are you visiting? Andrea, you are in London. Amazing. All right, guys. So let's jump into it because the time will go ridiculously quickly. And I've got my Sunday dessert waiting for me, right? So, what I would love to know, right? So, before we begin with the planning activities, that I've got in store for us. Let me know what your focus is for the week, for this week. I count Sunday as the start of the week. I don't know. There's that whole debate, right? Is it Monday or is it Sunday? I class Sunday as the start of the week. So what is your focus for this week in terms of LinkedIn, right? Is it to work on optimizing your profile? Is it to be more consistent with content? Is it to start to nurture a pipeline? Or is it to actually, with that nurtured pipeline, to get them over the line to become paying clients, right? And if not paying clients, right? So conversion could look like you converting them maybe into a webinar or a masterclass, or maybe it's converting them onto your email list. There's some kind of conversion event that you're planning. So let me know what your intention is for LinkedIn this week. And if you do not have an intention, that is half of the problem, right? So we are going to fix that on this session. We're absolutely going to fix that. For me, and I'm going to do this with you guys, right? Because this isn't just me talking at you and saying you should do all the things I'm telling you I need to do as well. So my focus for LinkedIn for this week is to I'm starting a new newsletter because I'll give you a little bit of the tea. I'm actually adding a new platform into my ecosystem. So I'm adding Pinterest as a additional platform that allows me to drive traffic to my blog, to drive traffic to my LinkedIn. And it does a whole host of other things. So my intention going into LinkedIn this week, I want to get that new newsletter set up. So that is really content. That's my focus, right? My profile is already optimized. I'm happy with my profile. So it is for me about content. And that is what I'm leaning into. Andrea, you said consistent with content and visibility. Amazing. Okay, perfect. That is perfect. And you'll see why, because what I'm going to show you, we choose a track, and one of the tracks is content, and we choose we lean into 4 different elements of what I think a good plan looks like, and visibility is one of the crucial parts of that plan. So let me pull up my slides. If you're just hopping in, we're doing what I call a LinkedIn reset, right? Last week is finished. We're starting a new week and we are planning. We're going into the week with a plan, right? It's like having the plan in your back pocket. So you know when you get on the platform, it's almost that you can ignore the things that are distractions and you can just go head on into the things that are actually going to move you towards your goal and your plan, which I think is the best way to do it, because it's very noisy on LinkedIn and you can easily get swept up, lost, and before you know it, you get to Thursday and there's nothing to show for it, right? So as I've said, this is the LinkedIn reset and momentum plan, because I want your plan to have momentum. I want you to move with purpose. And yeah, we are going to be here for no more than 30 minutes. So I need you to, as I've said, it's noisy. I need for you to focus. There are many things that you could do on LinkedIn. There are many things you could do in your business, but we're going to focus on one particular thing. So whether that is fixing your profile, if it's being consistent with posting, maybe it is about finding clients for you. What is the thing for you? Drop it in. Let me know what the thing that you need to prioritize to move the needle for you this week. And really, I would hope that you have a 3-year plan, a 5-year plan, a quarterly plan, your monthly plan. And this is what we're working on, is your weekly plan. So you shouldn't just be pulling out of the air. You should know, for example, you may be about to publish a book, right? So your book is going to be published in May. I don't want for you to pop up in May and be like, hey, I've got a book, go buy, right? What you should be doing now is intentionally seed sowing and soft selling to get people aware that something's coming. Get them excited, start to seed sow and talk about the topics on LinkedIn, start to connect with the right people, start to get the amplifiers who can help you to get your message out there, right? So I'm big into like reverse engineering, working backwards from your goal. So this week, as I'm alluding to, should be connected to your overarching marketing goal, your overarching goal for your business, right? So I hope that makes sense. Tarek, my bro, how are you? You're glad you made the live session. Listen, this is for my I don't know, would you call this like a late night hangout? I guess so. I'm normally doing like lunch and learns, so this probably is for the late night hangers. And if probably the ones who are tucked up in bed, they'll have to watch the replay, which is fine. Someone said, fixing my profile. Awesome. That's the foundation. That's the bedrock. Don't move on to content. Don't move on to building a pipeline if you have not fixed your profile, if you have not optimized it to be very clear in terms of what it is you do, who you do it for, and the results that you get. Because that to me is like having a bucket with a hole in. You're literally wasting opportunities and leads because you start putting content out, calling people over, and then your profile's not clear. I'm not saying yours isn't, but I'm just giving that example. So yes, that it should be your focus. And you have access to the LinkedIn Strategizer, where you have access to the profile optimization course that lives inside of that. So you've got the tools, you have the tools. And guys, if you're on my email list, you will know that I am running what I called a silly Saturday sale. So I have slashed, like, I think, was it 60% off of the LinkedIn profile optimization course. So if you do need to optimize your profile on LinkedIn, and I would encourage you do that, because there have been some changes to the algorithm recently. I don't work for LinkedIn, so I don't know how the algorithm works, but I know that personally and in terms of clients, people are feeling the impact of a change that has happened, right? Setting your profile up, having relevant content, and being a human, right? Which is easy because we're not AI bots, but showing up in your humanity, showing up as your authentic self is what is going to allow you to be seen on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is actually like suppressing those who are going for hacks, are going for like trendy type things, whereas they want people that are delivering relevant content. They're delivering content that is it endures, right? So it's not a fad. And in terms of that engagement, are you having those conversations? I'm going down a rabbit hole, and I said half an hour, so I want to really stick to that. But let me see if anyone else has dropped in the chat. LinkedIn user has said, I need to refocus on my coaching whilst promoting my network. Okay, cool. So that is about kind of like top of funnel activity. So building awareness of what you do and who you are to people who are, I guess, relatively cold to what you do potentially. I don't know, I'm guessing, right? But starting to be more visible and starting to promote your network. Okay, cool beans. Let's move on. So let's set our intention, right? And this isn't one to overthink, right? But what I do need you to think about on LinkedIn, what is it that you want to be known for? If we go on and we, 1 week we're talking about goal setting, the next week we're talking about marketing, and the next week we're talking about, I don't know, health challenge, like, health recommendations, fitness workouts. What is it that you want to be known for? To be that expert, that go-to person, that in a room and a conversation, somebody can mention something and I can say straight away, oh, Tarek's your guy. He's the PR guy, right? That's what I'm gonna point to, because that's what I know that he is known for. And you may be thinking in your mind, but Shalina, like, I'm multi-passionate. I have multiple interests, multiple things that I want to talk about. And I love that for you. I really love that for you. However, I'm going to say, let's just focus, right, on one thing. And the reason I encourage you to do that is because, as I've said, it's noisy. There's a lot of people posting, there's a lot of AI content, there's a lot happening. So if you are not immediately known for that one thing, what happens is you become forgettable. People can't quite cling on and can't quite remember who you are and what you do because you're talking about too many things. So, what is your thing that you want to be known for this week? Right? I would love to know what that is, just in a sentence. Your content should be linked to that thing. So, you should be talking about that thing. the conversations that you get involved in terms of commenting on other posts, events that you attend. That's not to say you can't, attend other events, but really you want to be in the rooms that are discussing the thing that is relevant to what you do. So please let me know what is your intention. And guys, I hope you're writing this down. Like, have a notebook or a digital notebook, whatever. Get it down, because this is your plan that you're going into LinkedIn with this week. And as I've said, having that plan allows you to ignore things that are not relevant. It's almost like you start to have like almost like a radar. Because I've set the intention, you will now start to identify posts that are talking about that particular topic. I can't think of the term. You know, that thing of like where you say, I'm going to get a particular car, and then all of a sudden you see it everywhere. It's the same thing. So set your intention. Let me know what that looks like. So someone has said, however, what if I also need to focus on my content too, as I have a book coming out soon? I feel caught between fixing my profile so I'm seen and also focusing on marketing help. No worries, Simone. Listen, you can get your profile sorted in a couple of hours. It doesn't take as long as maybe you're preempting that it will. Dedicate a couple of hours, and really the longest part of optimizing your profile is probably like rewriting your about section, creating your banner, creating the, what do you call them, thumbnails for your featured content, doing that in Canva. So the actual setting up of your profile, filling out all of the different elements that LinkedIn has, it's like a form, right? So you have to fill it all out, and LinkedIn prioritizes profiles that are fully complete. So a lot of us set our profiles up, and what we said was, oh, do you know what? We'll come back and do it at some point, and we never do. And for that reason, LinkedIn then does not like prioritize your profile, push your profile, because you've got an incomplete profile. They want to put you in front of their members of their community on the basis that that individual is going to be able to understand who you are and what you do. So I would set aside a couple of hours, get that done. You can get that done in a day, and then move on to the content. Profile optimization is the bedrock. It's important, but it doesn't need to take 3-4 months, right? We could do it in a short amount of time. This week, two people. Okay. You know what? Anyway, let me not. This week, 2 people were referred to me, not via LinkedIn, for human design and business strategy. Not via LinkedIn, so via another mechanism. And this is the thing, right? So I love and speak about LinkedIn all day long. However, I'm pairing another platform. I'm pairing Pinterest with it, because I think Pinterest is the next best platform for me for what I'm trying to achieve. Pinterest is very intention led. So people go on with a plan, with an intention, and I want to drive them to products, digital products that I'm selling. I want to drive them to blogs. I want to drive them to my LinkedIn profile so that they can build trust and credibility in me, and then purchase like support for deeper levels of work. So yeah, I would always say have another platform. And don't do this if you're just getting started. Don't do this if you're overwhelmed, right? Focus on the one thing, get that going. But then I would always say, don't have all your eggs in one basket. So at the very least, you should always have email marketing going, own your own list, have access to your network so that you can contact those individuals as and when you need to, without being beholden to the algorithm, right? So let us know, right? What is it that you want to be known for? Is it for simplifying strategy for busy founders? Is that the thing that you're going after? Maybe you are helping females. I'm thinking of a lady in the LinkedIn Strategy Lab. Maybe you're helping females with PCOS. Maybe that is the focus, and maybe it's professionals. I'm helping, even you could get even more granular, get my teeth in. I'm helping females in the IT sector who are suffering with PCOS, right? That is the thing that you want to be known for. All right, so we've got the intention, we've decided like what it is that we want to be known for on the direction that we're going. In the LinkedIn Strategy Lab, we operate across a 4-step pathway, and this is the pathway, right? So profile being the bedrock, as I've said, getting that set up, letting that do the heavy lifting for you. When someone comes to your profile, they should very quickly, in a matter of seconds, know what it is that you do and who you do it for, and have a value proposition, right? Let me know what the transformation you can get for me is. Your content should be consistent, right? In terms of, and don't hear, when I say consistent, don't hear daily, right? People instantly think once you say be consistent, they're like, oh, I need to post daily. No, you need to be consistent. First of all, in your messaging, having consistency with your messaging. So you're not hopping between random things, you're clear in terms of your values, in terms of your approach, in terms of who you are getting results for. So consistent in that regard, but consistent, you may decide that you're going to post twice a week, right? Consistently do that. The algorithm starts to spot and understand your pattern, but equally your network does as well. So be consistent with your content. And then the third step in the pathway is your pipeline. And this is you intentionally nurturing the people that you have identified as potential clients, potential collaborators even, right? People who are leads that we're wanting to convert into clients. So being intentional with the conversations that you're having on the platform. Are you, responding to comments? Are you having conversations in the DMs? And then the fourth step in the pathway is your client conversions. So are you following up on LinkedIn? Are you being intentional with actually converting those warm leads into clients? So drop in the comments. Let me know, out of those 4 steps, out of that 4-step pathway, what is your track? What is the thing that you need to focus on? If it is the case that you need to bring visibility to what you're doing, then content is where you need to live. You need to be putting yourself out in terms of visibility, in terms of education for potential clients, positioning yourself as that expert, that thought leader. So is it content? Maybe you're at the point where you've built up a community, you've built up your visibility, and you're actually now starting to nurture those individuals who have raised their hand, maybe on a piece of content or in the comments, or there's somebody that you're actually nurturing, so the conversations are more important to you. Or maybe you already have people that you're nurturing, and we now need to move them down the funnel to actually become clients, to actually start paying you, right? Take the money from their bank account and drop it into yours. So Tariq said, pipeline is what I'm currently working on now. So super relevant. I'm glad to hear that. That is really, really good. And I love that, right? Because the thing is, I always say this, not everyone will become a client, but without a conversation, we will never know. And what I found is, in some of these conversations, what I identify are collaboration partners, I identify amplifiers of my message, I identify we are not a good fit, right? So I can bless you and move on. I was going to say bless and block, but we're not doing that, right? I can bless you and move on because I've now identified we're not a good fit, and I don't need to continue expending time and energy where I can clearly see we're not a good fit. And you only know this through conversations. Conversations is what leads to cash, right? So continue, guys, drop in, let me know where you're at in terms of the track that you need to focus on. Is it profile, content, pipeline, or clients? All right, so let's move to the next slide. So the weekly system, right, that I encourage for you to have a purposeful week on LinkedIn, there are 4 things that we need to be intentional with: getting visibility, building that pipeline, and I'm going to unpack these, right? Having some kind of asset, some kind of resource that you can get into the hands of potential clients or prospects, and then being intentional with conversations. And all of those 4 things is what leads to momentum. That is what is going to help you. So when we don't have a plan, I don't know for you, right? I don't know what's gonna. I don't know, right? You're, as I said, groping in the dark. But if we have a vague plan, we get vague results. So for all of these things, I encourage and suggest that you assign a number to them, right? So visibility is all around being seen. So that is about you can be seen in a few ways. You could be seen with your content, so your posts. So you may say, Shalina, I'm going to be posting twice this week. So you're assigning a number to the activity. You can also be seen on LinkedIn through the comments. And I would encourage you to lean into comments as much as you're posting. Please do more in terms of comments, because most people post once a day. And I would encourage you to, if you're gonna post, I like to repost what I've posted earlier on in the evening. Would I post, like on TikTok, right? We're posting like 4 or 5 times for the day. That doesn't work on LinkedIn. You're going to burn out your audience. You're going to fatigue them, right? But we can comment 10 times, right? You could comment. I like to kind of break it up. So I might do 2 in the morning, 2 in the afternoon, 2 in the evening, 2 before I go to, right? So you could easily break it up. But comments are also a visibility strategy, because it's an opportunity to be seen. It's an opportunity to showcase what you know. In terms of pipeline, what does that look like? So is it you are going to be nurturing free potential clients? Is it that you are going to share a resource perhaps with a potential client in the DMs and assign a number to it? The assets, let me get into that. So these are like your sales tools, and I would encourage all of us. We're in business, right? We're not on LinkedIn just for the crack, just for fun. We are here for business. So that often is one of the big mistakes that I see. People are not intentional with how can I use this to generate sales, to attract clients, to generate revenue. And the way that you can do this on LinkedIn is by having sales tools, assets that you can get into the hands of individuals. And that could be, as an example, one of the examples is utilizing your featured section with a free lead magnet, perhaps. Maybe you've got a webinar or a masterclass coming up, free or paid, right? Could you drop that into your featured section? What is that for you this week? Because like being on the platform for months and years and you've never offered anything, you've never, like, even free or paid, as I've said, we have to be intentional with that. LinkedIn is a business tool. So if you're not selling, are you in business? Like, what are we really doing here? Right? And then the fourth thing, which is all part of your weekly system, is the conversations. So, and when I've said here, name the source, you may say, right, I am going to have 4 conversations off the back of a post that I put onto LinkedIn. So with 4 people that comment, I'm going to now take the next step to have conversations with them. Maybe they've liked your post, right? And you go and check their profile and you see that this is a potential client, a potential prospect. You now have a conversation with them. Another place could be your profile views. Maybe you're going to camp there. You're going to see who is viewing your profile. If you're on the free plan, I think you can see between 3 and 5 views per day. And this there's like a window, so it updates daily. So maybe you look at that each day, see who's viewed your profile, go and check them out, and then intentionally have a conversation. So how many conversations are you wanting to have on LinkedIn? This is all part of your plan, so that, as I've said, come tomorrow, I'm looking for people to have a conversation with, right? I'm not going to pitch slap them, right? I want to find out about them, find out about their challenges in regards to what you do. We're not looking for friends. I don't like, I've got enough. I don't want to hear about, your dramas and life circumstances. I want to understand the problems in regards to the service that I deliver, to find out, are we a fit? Is this a potential person that I could help? Because a lot of us get stuck on LinkedIn in the friend zone and we don't know how to pivot, right? So as I said, you don't go in pitch slapping. Equally, don't get stuck talking about the weather. Moving on, because we are way past the 30 minutes, right? So I've got here, and I'm going to skip through these, right? So depending on what you guys didn't drop in the chat, let me know what is your track, and then I'll show you based, like, I'll give one of them, just because we're massively over time by now. I want to show you like an example of how you can implement around that particular track. So, all right, we'll go with Tarek because he had put in, right? So for pipeline, let's flick and get to pipeline. All right. So pipeline. So maybe you write 2 DM starters, like conversations. As I've said, keep it friendly. So you could have a prompt that you tweak based on the individual, but you've got like the skeleton, you've got the shell of the thing. So we've got here, hey name, your post on topic stood out. Quick one. Are you focusing on A or B right now? So for me, that could be, hey Sally, your post on struggling with consistency in your business stood out. Quick one. Are you focusing on LinkedIn or are you focusing on another platform right now? That is a conversation starter, right? I now know. She may say to me, "Oh no, I hate LinkedIn," right? I am literally here because I had to be for work. My business, I'm running it over on Instagram. So straight away, I know we are not a fit. She's not my person. But I only know that through a conversation, right? And we're moving people through the pipeline. Not everyone will make it to the bottom. Not everybody will convert. The widest bit of the funnel is where the majority of people are. So that is your top of funnel. That's where people are just starting to understand who you are and what you do. Through that nurturing process, through conversations, determines who falls out the end of the funnel and becomes a client. Garfield, good to see you, bro. How are you? Let's see what you said. Dale Carnegie said, we make friends to make I didn't know that one. I love that. We make friends to make sales. That is so good. That really is. And I love that clients, the people that I work with become friends, because in your business you get to choose who you work with. It's not like work where you kind of have no choice and you're like, oh, grimacing every time they email you. We get to determine who it is that we want to work with. And there will be some people that, is not a fit for you, and you can politely signpost them elsewhere. Right. So we make friends to make sales. I love that. Thank you for sharing that, Garfield. I hope you are doing well. All right, guys. So let's crack on. So you guys thought you just came to watch me. You just came to hear what I had to say. But I want to give you an opportunity, right? I probably won't go for as long as I would have liked with this particular sprint. But what I would love for you to take some time, so that you're not just leaving with good intentions, but you're actually like going into the week with something that is tangible. So for you, your sprint task could look like having a quick look at your headline. If profile is the thing that you need to fix, right? What my plan was to spend like 6 minutes actually doing the thing. I would have said to you, go and update your headline. And if you get stuck, come back and ask me a question. We don't have time for that now, right? If the content is the thing that you're focused on, I would love for you to think about the post that you're going to write and start by coming up with the hooks. The hooks are the things that are going to get people to stop and engage, stop and lean into what you have to say. If you do not have a hook, they're just scrolling past. If there's nothing compelling, and a hook could be a written hook, it could be a visual hook, so it could be your imagery that you use, right? If we had time, I would say I would have put the time out and we would have done the thing. Next week, I will be more diligent with the time, right? So if it's pipeline, write in 2 of those DM starters, right? Having a template so that you go into the week ready. You can just copy, paste, fill in, flesh out, obviously with the relevant information to the individual. And if it is clients, right, in the sprint, what we would have done is worked on a template for you to circle back with somebody that you've been nurturing, right? To find out, is this still a priority for you? Is it still important? If it's not, that's fine. Let me know. If you are still intending to move forward, let's get a date in the diary. Let's help people to help themselves. We need to show up as the leaders that we are. And often a lot of us are a little bit too passive. And that's why we're not able to move people along. And let them tell you, go away. I'm not interested. Please stop. I love that, because I now know I don't need to continue I don't need to continue extending time and energy over somebody who doesn't need my help. There are people who actually want and need my help. Let me move on to them. So guys, drop in the chat. Let me know if this has been helpful. I would love to hear. Let me see. All right, so I was just going to show you about the cycle in terms of momentum in the LinkedIn Strategy Lab. I'm going to skip over that. Just as a quick intro to the lab, this is my community of entrepreneurs who are prioritizing LinkedIn as a business tool. Let me just quickly open another tab because I want to give you the current numbers. So this community, as I've said, is filled with business owners. So we're currently at 151 members. Are they all engaged? No, not necessarily. However, those who are intentional, those who show up to the calls that they can access, those who ask questions, are the ones that are actually seeing results. So yeah, I can only do so much to help people and to move them over the line. But essentially, we leverage the pathway that I've taken you through, the 4-step pathway. And let me quickly show you this actually. So this is, yeah, the pathway, simple: profile, content, pipeline, clients. I obviously expand on it in the community to give more context, to give resources, to give trainings, to have um, like implementation sessions. You'll see that there's a vault with weekly strategies. Well, no, it's moved to fortnightly because people are getting overwhelmed with weekly. So fortnightly strategies that you can run for, maybe the month of March, you decide you are going to implement the inbound content that I can't remember what it was called. There was an inbound strategy for lead generation, right? So you could grab a strategy and run with that, come back and get support in the weekly clinics. If you are on one-to-one, the highest tier. So the community is free for you to join. There are 2 paid tiers, and I've actually just closed the VIP tier because those are more time intensive in terms of having fortnightly one-to-ones with those who are on VIP, giving reviews, doing Loom videos, so that it's more time intensive. So I've actually closed that for now. Yeah, when I have more capacity, I'll open VIP again. But the premium tier is where you can get feedback on what you're doing on your campaigns on LinkedIn, how you're working, get additional resources. The community is free for you to join. So if you're a business owner, I can see someone, well, 2 people have already scanned it. Scan the QR code, come on over into the LinkedIn Strategy Lab, and let me help you to leverage LinkedIn more effectively. As we conclude and wrap up, I want you to commit to what it is that you have planned for how you're going to use LinkedIn this week. If you get to Wednesday and you haven't done any of these things, the week is done. It's gone. It's left you, right? So we're starting early. We're starting early. So tomorrow what it is that you're doing. Whether you're posting, you may post on Mondays, you may not. That's entirely up to you. I would encourage you to comment each day, right? But what is it that you are going to do by Wednesday? What are you committing to? Write it down, and more importantly, do it. People have notebooks filled with good intentions, but if you are not actually doing the doing, then we've just been entertained, right? We've just had a good time together. I don't think that that's what you want to do on your Sunday evening. So drop into the chat. Let me know what you are committing to. Hold yourself accountable. We did the 12-week year. There's a book, the 12-week year. Andrea was you participate. I can't see if there were anyone else that's on that was part of that. And accountability was a big part of that. And a lot of people tend to abdicate. They think, someone needs to hold me accountable. No, hold yourself accountable. If the thing is important to you, you will do it, right? You have support structures, support mechanisms that can check in and say, hey sis, hey bro, how are you getting on with that thing? But they can't make you do it, right? You have to want to. You have to be intentional with achieving that goal. So hold yourself accountable. I would love to hear what it is that you are committing to doing. So is it sending 5 DMs to warm leads by Wednesday? Is it posting 2 pieces of content about LinkedIn user had shared? They wanted to talk about their network and something else. I can't remember, but 2 pieces of content in relation to the thing that you are offering. So feel free to go ahead and drop that in the chat. Simone says, always helpful, Shalina. I need to revisit the Strategizer course I never completed. And that's the beauty of online resources, digital resources you can revisit, right? If we had, and I'm planning to do an in-person event, just a quick quick heads up. But in-person events are great. What often happens is we are excited by whatever's happening in the room at the time. But if it's not recorded, if you didn't like take good notes, the moment's lost and we leave. It's like if you go to a comedy show, I always think of this. People are like, oh, how did you like it? Oh, it was amazing. What did they say? I can't remember. Right. It was good in the moment, but what happens after? So having digital resources, digital assets in your business allow for people to actually get the value, to be able to circle back around. You may have completed it, but you want to refresher or you want to update something. So no shame, no shade in that. The resources are there for you to access. Andrea says the lab has great resources. Bless you, sis. That's kind of you to say. If you're intentional, calling out myself here, sis. You are on VIP. So I was like, book a one-to-one. What are you waiting for? Let's get on onto Zoom, and yeah, let me help you with whatever the thing is that you are moving towards and you're wanting to get there via LinkedIn. Garfield, hashtag March of 31 days. I need this. Oh, are you doing like a challenge on LinkedIn? March of 31 days. So in the LinkedIn Strategy Lab, I have a challenge on at the moment. It's called the LinkedIn Visibility Challenge. It's 7 days of talk content. So each day you get a video from me on a particular element of visibility. And then you have 20, I think you get 8 days of talk content, and then you've got 20 days of implementing what you've been taught. And really, the idea behind it is for you to build the muscle, to get muscle memory, so that even after the challenge, you continue with the things that you were doing to get in front of the people who are going to pay you. That's ultimately the goal for the visibility challenge. So we go again in March. So get into the LinkedIn Strategy Lab. There's a lot happening. I am sharing my process around combining LinkedIn and Pinterest. And I've had probably about 5 people join that particular. So there's different modules in it's hosted on a platform called School. There are different modules within School, and that particular module is a paid module. And I've had probably about 5 people sign up to learn how to combine LinkedIn and Pinterest. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot of good things happening. And you do not have to upgrade to the paid tiers. Do that when you want deeper levels of support. You want access to more resources. When I open VIP again, you want to work one-to-one. At the free tier, you get access to 7 starter strategies to get you going. You get access to the community. From time to time, I'll open like a Q&A thread so you can ask your questions. Yeah, there's a lot that you can tap into. Right, amazing. Thank you, Andrea. By Wednesday, I will post at least 2 posts and comment on 10 posts. Amazing. I love this. It's on screen, it's being recorded, so hold yourself accountable. I love that. Oh, and you've got by Wednesday, I will book a one-to-one. I love that. Okay, I'm looking forward to seeing your name land in my diary. Garfield said, have always done 31-day challenge in March. For 2026, it will be LinkedIn. Amazing. Come into the LinkedIn Strategy Lab, Garfield. Yeah, let me help you get visibility for all the good work that you are doing. All right, so let me just see. I think I have one final slide. So go create momentum, right? As I've said, knowledge without action is just entertainment. So we've had a great time, right? Maybe I cracked a few jokes that you found funny. But what I want is for you to have a plan. I want you to move towards the goals that you've set yourself for this month, the next month, for 2026, for your business. So following through is really important. Hop into the lab, as I've said, scan the QR code. If you're not able to scan the QR code, I will drop it into, where will I drop it? Because I don't think I can add it into YouTube, but I will go over to LinkedIn now while I'm on live, and you can then get access to the LinkedIn Strategy Lab. You know, when you're like doing 100 things, they say women are good at multitasking. It's a fake narrative. Like, you are doing one thing or you're doing something else. All right, so I've just dropped the link. Well, I'm about to. So if you're not able to scan, because if you're on the device that you would scan with, then you would not be able to, but you could come back and watch the replay. But I have just dropped the link to join into the comments for the event. But guys, yeah, let me know if this was helpful. What questions do you have? Super quickly, I'll take 2 questions and then I should give you back your evening and get on with my dessert. I should get on with my dessert. My husband must be like, what's taking her so long? What is taking her so long? I'll just give you a moment to drop your questions in the chat while. Okay. Yeah, okay, I can see I've added the link into the chat. Garfield, you have said women do it better than men multitasking. I don't know. I don't know where that narrative has come from. That I just think like you're doing one thing or you're doing something else. Something is being sacrificed by you kind of flitting between the two things. So if you just focused on that one thing, you'd probably get a better result. So like I'm trying to drop the link and I'm trying to talk at the same time and I'm not doing either very well. But yeah, that rhetoric of women are good multitaskers, I'm not quite sure where that's come from. Tarek said, no question for me, but it was really useful and thanks for holding us accountable. Yeah, I can see all of you who are on. So I'll be circling and being like, how did you get on? And it's not, I can't make you do it. It's literally a, hey, bro, how's that going? How are you getting on? And I love, actually, I just want to really big you up, actually, Tarek, your consistency with your YouTube channel. Props to you. That what you're doing is to be commended. Like, what is it like? I don't know if you're doing it daily, but how long have you been doing it? And it's daily videos, right? Yeah, I know, like when I come up with these harebrained ideas. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go live for 9 days and talk about visibility anchors. And it's easy to say it. And then you're like, oh my gosh, so now I need to create the content, create the slides, set my lighting up and get on camera and do all the things. And I do, because once I've said it, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. But that consistency can test us, right? So yeah, I really do want to commend you for showing up in that way and being a value to your audience. Women have better attention to detail. I know I'm 63 years here. Yeah, I guess you've seen and been here a bit longer. So yeah, I'll give way to that. I will give way to that. So you've been doing daily videos since the 1st of Jan. My goodness. And this is the thing, I could do the videos. I think that I could do that. It's the editing that would probably wipe me out. I think that would be the thing. I can get on and I can talk for England, but it probably would be the editing. Maybe I would have to just not edit it. And this is why I'm going down a rabbit hole. I'm gonna let you go in a minute. This is why I prefer live streams rather than pre-recorded because I don't have to edit. Yes, I will fluff my words. Yes, I will, you know, throw up the wrong slide or, make a boo-boo. But that's real life. If I was talking to you, then chances are that may happen. Whereas if I'm recording, like when you're recording, once you make one mistake, it feels like it then just becomes a spiral, right? If you're on live, you just roll with it and people are a little bit more forgiving. I hope. I hope. So, guys, thank you so much for hopping on. I don't know, is 30 minutes probably a little bit optimistic given that I'm one of those verbose chatty ones. Let me let you go. Thank you so much for hopping on. Get on with your plans. I'm a lookout for you guys. I would love to support what you're doing. Feel free to tag me, right? If you are posting or if you're involved in a conversation and you think I need to know about it or I need to weigh in, feel free to tag me. More than happy to come hang out where you guys are. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I look forward to seeing you in LinkedIn Lab. See ya. Bye bye.